Hello guys, this is Yogesh and welcome to my channel Hello Sahitya. Today I am going to talk about paper 509 of semester 5, that is Introduction to American Literature. So today I am going to deal with Unit 2's poem The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. So let us discuss about Robert Frost first. So Robert Frost was born in 1874 in San Francisco and he is considered as one of the most popular poets of 20th century America. He was named after one of the Scottish poet Robert Burns, as his mother herself was a poet and a great admirer of Robert Burns. But his father wanted to name his son after one of the general, Lee. So the full name of our poet is Robert Lee Frost. And at the age of 11, he lost his father, and his family suffered economical crisis, and his father was buried in New Hampshire, and they later settled down in New Hampshire. In 1894, he published his first poem, that is My Butterfly, and 1906 he was suffering from pneumonia. Somehow he was saved, and it was magic for his family and for the doctor who was treating Frost. In 1912 he left England. He left America for England and he published his first collection of poems, that is A Boy's Will, and later he settled down in America again at New Hampshire. And one important thing is that Robert Frost was nominated for Nobel Prize 31 times, and he got 4 Pulitzer Prize, and he was invited to read out one of his poems, The Gift, outright at the White House by the President John Kennedy. And Frost lived most of his life on a farm in New Hampshire. Frost writes primarily about rural life, and he is a great nature poet and describes natural scenes very realistically. His poem attracts reader because of their colloquial rhythms and simple images, as you have studied Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. So the literary merit of Frost lies in raising complex philosophy issue in simple language. So let us discuss the poem The Road Not Taken. The Road Not Taken is one of Frost's most well-known poems, and it is said that it was written in 1916 and was included in collection Mountain Interval. It is characterized by Frost's usual simple style, that is marked by ordinary, straightforward language. And Frost uses the image of 2 roads diverging in a wood to explore the theme of choice and the need to make the right decision or choose the right path. Now, according to some critic, Frost wrote this poem, The Road Not Taken, as a joke for a friend, the poet Edward Thomas. As they went walking together, Thomas was chronically indecisive about which road they ought to take, and at that time, Frost had written this poem in 1950, Frost gripped to Thomas that he had read that poem to an audience of college students, and to great surprise, it had been taken pretty seriously by the audience. So, the Road Not Taken is a simple narrative poem consisting of four stanzas of 5 lines, and the noticeable rhyme scheme is A B double A B, and the rhymes are strictly followed with the notable exception of the last line. And in the poem there are 4 syllables per lines based on iambic tetrameter. So this poem again deals with the setting of forest, as forest is the setting of the poem stopping by woods on a snowy evening. So in his description of the trees, Proust uses one detail, the yellow leaves, as the opening line of the poem is two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. So the yellow leaves makes it emblematic of the entire forest, defining the wood with one feature prefigures one of the essential ideas of the poem, the insistence that a single decision can transform a life. And the yellow leaves suggest that the poem is set in autumn. So from the opening line we can understand the setting of the poem. And basically the theme of the poem is, as one of the critic Jean Nietzsche points out, that the problem of making a choice is very significant theme in Proust poetry, and it is also the theme of this poem. As I have read out the opening lines, two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. So the speaker described how walking through the yellow wood he had come to a place where the roads diverge in two separate paths. He knew that he could not travel on both the roads, and therefore decided to take the road which was less used. But there are doubts in poet's mind also, as the poet is not definitely sure that he has made the right choice or not. He had chosen the road very carefully, but he is not certain about his decision, as he wonders what might happen if he had traveled on the road not taken. As the poet says, "Oh, I kept the first for another day, at knowing how way leads on to way, I doubt if I should ever come back." So the message of the poem is that although the poet wanted to return, he knew that when we have made our choice, it is not easy to change it. In life, all of us have to take very important decision. The decision cannot make us either happy or unhappy, and such decision cannot be changed in future, and we must think deeply before taking any decision. So our choice can make our life either heaven or hell, and all choices very important, plays very important role, and they become the determining factors in everyone's life. As the poet says in the end of the poem, the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So some critic also says that the title of the poem is confusing, as Proust often presented characters who were full of doubts and uncertainties. And the title Road Not Taken itself is a symbolic title. The poem does not advise, as it is the most often misunderstood poem on this planet, and there is an element of doubt in the poet's mind. He asks himself the question whether the choice he has made is the right choice or not. So, we can say that the Road Taken is a poem which has been much admired and much quoted, like stopping by woods at a snowy evening. And it is a great lyric which records a personal experience of the poet. But from the personal and individual experience, the poet soon rises to the universal and the general theme, that is, choosing the right path or taking the right decision. And the poet's experience becomes symbolic of human experience in all ages and in all countries, and as the difficulty of making a choice is universal, and in this way this poem is true of universal experience, as Proust never advised his readers, as you must have studied Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, Mending Wall, Birches, The Gift Outright. So poet gives different experiences to different views, but it is up to the reader to decide, as poet does not advise. So I hope you have understood this poem.